God, finally! You're here! I've been waiting all morning, like for 10 minutes since I woke up. You got that script I asked for?
Yeah, but just barely. Why the hell did you call me out of the blue and tell me to write a script about anything as long as I finish it in 3 days? You know, it usually takes a little bit longer to get a script done properly.
I may, or may not, but probably did, have bet somebody that I can film a movie in 3 days. And since that is all the time I am getting for filming, I don't see any reason why you should have any more time for writing the script. Make sense?
Not in the slightest.
Perfect. Glad we're on the same page. So what'd you come up with?
Well, I got a script called The Little Shop of Horrors.
The Little Shop. The Little. Huh. You must have been shopping at Radio Shack recently.
Oh, no, actually, I got the idea from feeding a cat.
How does feeding a cat give you an idea for a movie?
Well, the cat kept saying, feed me, which of course I did. And then I realized, how cool would it be if a plant did the exact same thing?
First of all, if you discovered a cat that can talk, then why are you here and talking to me instead of not selling said pussy for $1 million? If there was only a place where you could upload videos of a talking kitty cat, I mean, you could be a trillionaire. People would go crazy for that. I mean, watching cat videos all day while doing their... But anyway, secondly, you are telling me you were able to write an entire script from the idea of a talking plant?
Well, for your first question, Admiral Schmookins would not take kindly to me trying to sell him. And for your second question, no, I just took several other scripts and a short story I was working on, just shoehorned in a talking plant. Because of that, the genre of the movie is a bit off.
Okay, so like you write every other script. What is genre?
A dark comedy horror film noir.
You know, I am once again reminded why every time I have your name on my schedule, I write, take a bottle of aspirin 3 minutes before the meeting, on the same day.
Well, I understand. I always write, don't forget hip flask. Although, to be fair, I do write that for every day, even when I don't have meetings scheduled. So we start off with a boiled cop talking about the seedy underbelly of Skid Row and of a terrible thing that once happened there.
I thought you said this was a dark comedy.
Well, yeah, but we're starting with the film noir part of the dark comedy film noir.
The most terrifying period in the history of my beat began in a little rundown floor shop called Mushnick's.
Yeah, so, but after the opening narration, we go inside of Mushnick's floral shop, and now we have the dark comedy.
What is so funny about a flower shop? Except for the poor suckers that are buying flowers for their girls because they came home late for work today.
Well, the shop isn't funny at all. It looks like someone took the set for an office and redressed it. The characters, on the other hand, are a different story, such as the old woman who has a relative die like every single day and comes to the shop daily for funeral flowers.
My sister's nephew Stanley died in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, what happened?
He got blown up, who knows how.
That's nice. Well, you would like, maybe as usual, some flowers for the funeral.
You think that having her family members die on a daily basis is funny?
Another character is a new customer that comes by to try out the flowers.
Okay. How exactly does one try flowers? Flowers are for sniffing, maybe putting in your hair if you're pretty, looking at, not playing hopscotch.
No, I mean he eats flowers. And he decided to see how the flowers at Mushnick's taste, since he believes small flower shops have the most unique flavors.
You know, those big places, they're full of pretty flowers, expensive flowers. And when you raise them for looks and smell, you're bound to lose some food value. I like to eat these little out-of-the-way places.
And then we have the owner, Mr. Mushnick, is always complaining about how poor he is and how much of an idiot his employee Seymour is.
I feel his pain. And this Mr. Munchkin, he's our main character.
Oh no, Seymour is.
The idiot? Just how much of an idiot are we talking about here? Like your average politician, or sitting in a corner with one finger up his nose, the other one in a pile of glue and crayons on his breath?
Well,
Seymour Krelboyne?
But the little...
Funeral!
Ah, so crayons on his breath. Got it. Anybody else?
well, for right now, just Audrey, a young woman who works at the shop who Seymour has a crush on.
Aww, love is in the air. So is pollen, COVID-19, and 17 other things that I can't even pronounce. So, now that we have the main cast down, what's everyone up to?
Well, Mushnick can't stand Seymour's antics anymore and fires him on the spot.
You mean I'm fired?
No, I'm electing you president from the United States.
Yes, you are fired!
But Audrey tries to convince him to keep Seymour on because he has cultivated a new breed of plant. Mushnick's not convinced, but the new customer talks him into it.
Now, wait a minute. He's got a new kind of plant you ought to look at. Look, I've eaten in flower shops all over the world. And I've noticed that the places that have the most weird and unusual plants do the best business.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that this crayon-eating idiot who is employed on Skid Row is a talented enough botanist to create a new genetic strain of plant life?
He's an idiot savant.
Fair enough. Okay, so, but why would the customer talk him into... Why would the customer do that?
Well, not only because he thinks it'll help their business, but he's hoping it will be delicious.
Somehow I should have seen that coming.
So Seymour rushes home to get the plant, and we meet one more member of our cast, Seymour's mother.
Does she have some kind of, I don't know, funny quirk, like she lifts her dress over her head every time somebody says the word of the day?
Oh yeah, she's convinced she's dying, despite the fact there's obviously nothing wrong with her. But Seymour knows just how to cheer her up. He gives her a very special cough medicine.
Wait, special? Never mind. I don't care how special it is. Why would cough medicine cheer her up?
Alcoholic content, 98%.
You know, that definitely sounds like something you would write. So I assume he rushes back and shows everyone this new and unique plant that he created on Skid Row with his botany degree from New York. Are they as impressed as he's hoping?
Yes and no. They all admit the plant is unique, but the plant looks sickly. So Mushnick still wants to fire Seymour. The new customer convinces him to give the kid a week to nurse it back to health, and Mushnick reluctantly agrees.
Okay, so we had a pinch of film noir at the beginning and a smidgen of dark comedy. Where exactly is the horror part of this supposed horror film?
Well, that night, as Seymour tries to figure out how to get the plant to grow, he accidentally cuts himself and the plant drinks the blood. Realizing that this is what the plant's after, he cuts open his fingers and feeds it as much as he can.
Here, let me move this out of your way so you can breathe.
Ow! 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 Ow!
Hey, what happened?
To recap, on Skid Row, there's a guy who happens to be a botanist who's very, very intelligent. He created a breed of plant. His boss says, no, I don't like the breed of plant. It looks too sicky. There's another customer who wants to eat said plant because he thinks it might be tasty. And he tells Seymour, hey, you should have another week. And Mushnick agrees, you should have another week. And then Seymour cuts his fingers open and feeds his blood to the plant. And that's your plus so far. Why is he giving it so much? My petunias might like drinking water, but it doesn't mean I'm going to open the holes on them. I mean, why not give the plant just a few little, here you go, have a drop.
Because it was sick and he wanted to make sure it grew big.
So despite the fact that he doesn't necessarily make sense, I assume it works.
Oh yeah, the next morning it's 4 times larger.
Holy crap, what the hell kind of plant grows 4 times in size over one night?
The kind that's able to drink blood from 10 fingers.
Blood? You like blood? Oh, you must be kidding.
Fair enough. So is this enough to get Monkey Guy to let him keep his job?
Oh, more than that. He decides to adopt him.
A son. Look, Audrey. I got a son.
Oh, gee, Mr. Mushnick.
What, Mr. Mushnick? I don't want you should call me Mr. Mushnick anymore. I want you should call me Dad.
What the but just because the plant grew.
Well, partly because of the plant grew, but more importantly because people keep coming in to take a look at the plant, and the business is booming. This makes Mushnik so happy he not only adopts Seymour as his son, but he gives the old lady whose family's dropping like flies a bunch of flowers for free.
Here are several dozen carnations on the house, courtesy of Gravis Mushnik, the Bloom Tycoon.
That's my dad.
Thanks.
Why do I feel like this is a obvious setup for a joke?
Because this is when the old lady points out that they should do something about their dying plant, and they realize that the plant, which Seymour has named the Audrey 2, is now looking like it's about to croak.
Okay, this plant's mood swings are reminding me of my third wife. And now that I think about it, she liked blood too. Are you sure this plant isn't actually based on my ex?
I'm pretty sure. So Mushnik tells Seymour he has to stay and nurse the plant back to health while he and Audrey go out for dinner.
Okay, so Mumalik is a perv. He's taking Audrey out. Gotcha. So the plant is also the reason why Seymour misses out on spending time with his friends? No, I know this plant was based off my ex.
Anyway, this is when the plant starts talking and tells Seymour to feed it.
Feed me!
But Seymour's out of blood and doesn't know what to do, so he does the only thing that makes sense.
He buys some ground beef at the butcher? Honestly, between that and just getting rid of a plant that, I don't know, eats blood, not exactly what the obvious thing to do here would be.
He goes for a walk, obviously.
Right, of course. If I have a bloodthirsty plant at home and no way to feed it, the first thing I'm going to do is go for a nice, refreshing walk. How exactly is that supposed to help him?
Well, he ends up at the train tracks and sees a bottle sitting on a rock, so he takes some rocks and starts throwing them to try to break it, only to accidentally hit a guy in the head with one of the rocks.
So, you're telling me he had killed the guy with a hit him in the head with a rock?
Oh no, not at all.
I was about to say,
The guy wanders onto the train tracks and the train runs him over. That's what kills him.
oh, what the hell? Don't tell me, being the genius that Seymour is, he figures, since the guy is dead, I'll just feed him to the plant anyway. Right?
Oh no, he gathers up all the pieces and he tries to just dump it in someone's trash, but he keeps getting caught.
Oh, sweet baby Ray's man. Just how stupid is this guy?
Dumb enough that he takes the body parts to the floor shop and still doesn't know what to do with them until the plant tells him to feed them to it.
You think it's fun to be a murderer? You think it's fun to haul around a sack full of food? Oh, no, Junior. What kind of guy do you think I am? I'm starved. Well, maybe just a snack.
So it is my ex. You're telling me the plant is smarter than the... He's smarter than the main character?
Oh yeah.
Great. I can just imagine how well this is going to turn out. And I suppose nobody noticed him dragging these body parts with a giant garbage bag with, I'm sure, blood dripping out of the back all over town.
No, but it does turn out that Mr. Mushnik forgot his wallet at the store, so he goes back to get it only to catch Seymour feeding the body parts to the plant.
Reason to be jolly. La, 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 la. It's the season to be jolly.
I suppose Mr. Munchkin is not going to do anything about it?
Well, he has every intention of going to the police the next day.
Wow, so murder and giving a chopped up body to a plant clearly is enough to get Munchkin off his ass to go down to the police station. But something tells me that's not going to happen the next day anyway.
Well, no.
What could possibly stop him?
Hi, Gravis. $85 with the business already, and we barely opened.
I don't know about you, but the plant being giant size would be a reason for me to try to stop it, not make friends with it.
Well, he feels the same and talks about that very fact to Seymour when he shows up with a toothache.
Why does he suddenly have a toothache? Is that important?
Well, yes, but more important is that Seymour tells Mushnick that he doesn't think the plant can get any bigger, and believes it's fully grown, which would mean it doesn't need to be fed anymore. Mushnick sends Seymour to the dentist and decides not to call the police since he's making lots and lots of money.
I'm making lots of money.
I can understand the money angle. I agree with the money angle. Not the allowing a giant man-eating plant to stay alive angle. I don't like that one so much. But the money angle makes sense. I can see his conundrum. So, what is the big deal about the dentist anyway? Why is he even here?
Well, the dentist's quirk is that he likes to inflict pain on people, but Seymour doesn't like pain, like most people. So, after the dentist pulls the tooth that was causing the toothache, he wants to continue to do more work, but Seymour decides to duel him with the dentist drill.
A duel! Aha!
Oh, no. You're not going to tell me.
He accidentally kills the dentist.
Okay, who duels with dentist tools? This is less of an accident, more of stupid people dying because they were doing stupid things.
Well, after that, I have a whole bit about a guy who enjoys pain, who comes to the dentist office, and Seymour has to pretend to be the dentist.
Oh, yes. I see it is.
Does that have anything to do with the plot?
Well, no, but it's going to be amusing.
Skip the amusing, back to the plot.
All right, well, Seymour takes so long with the guy who likes pain, it's night by the time he brings the body of the dentist to the shop, and he feeds the plant. The next day, Mushnick gets to the shop to find the plant is even bigger, and now has a bunch of flower buds.
Considering the fact that he thought it was already fully grown, I don't think this is going to go over so well.
Actually, Mushnick is speechless, so while he tries to ask about the plant, Audrey kisses Seymour, and Seymour asks Audrey out on a date.
That plant?
Oh, boy, you kiss good, Audrey.
Oh, I guess I just have a good kisser.
How did it?
Would you like to go out on a date with me some night?
When?
Oh, sure I would, Seymour. Anytime.
And let me guess, because he's such a wonderful fellow, she says yes.
Yeah, turns out she actually likes Seymour. She always has, but he never asked her out before.
Really? Because actually that makes perfect sense. A genius level botanist that can create plants on Skid Row. Makes sense. Really good catch. So maybe I should start asking out more ladies. If an idiot like Seymour can get a girl, then surely I can get one without having to pay.
I thought you were married.
Several times. That is why I am always on the lookout for a new wife. I never know when the old one's going to give me the old beep pop.
Anyway, this is when the cops show up.
All right. You did say this was a film noir. So why are the cops going to this place? Seymour leave a blood trail from the dentist's office right to the front door?
No, they're simply asking everybody in Skid Row if they know anything. They ask Mr. Mushnick, who acts incredibly guilty. So, of course, they think he's innocent.
Your name Gravis Mushnick?
Mushnick Gravis. That's my name.
Just want to ask you a few questions.
Questions, ask me.
Just
about-
want to ask you a few questions.
I didn't do it.
Do what?
Whatever.
He acts guilty. And they think he's innocent?
Well, he is innocent.
But Seymour, Mushnick, why would the cops think he was innocent?
Because we need to keep the plot moving.
Oh, fair enough. At least we can agree on something.
So Mushnick tells Seymour to go on his date so that he can stay and watch the plant to make sure nothing happens. But before anybody can leave, they're visited by a flower society that wants to give Seymour a trophy. But they don't want to do it until the flower buds open, which Seymour believes will happen the day after tomorrow.
How does he know?
Well, he created the plant by crossing various breeds, and one of the breeds had flowers that bloomed after sundown.
Okay, all right. Back to Munchkin Land King. Watching the plant. I have a feeling that something's bad's going to happen.
Obviously, but first we have to show the hilarious scene where we learn that the only food that Seymour's mother cooks is stuff that specifically cures some illness or another.
Does this have anything to do with the plot?
Well, no.
Skip!
Oh yeah, so the plant demands food, but Mushnik refuses to give it anything. And that is when a guy shows up to rob the place.
I can guess where this is going.
After Mushnik gives him the money, the guy insists there must be more until a panicked Mushnik tells him the money is inside the plant.
And the guy falls for this.
Well, we're talking about a world where one guy eats flowers and another guy decides it's okay to feed a man-eating plant as long as it makes him money. So, these aren't bright people.
They're not good people either, Baldy. They're not good people at all. But, fair enough.
The plant eats the guy, and the next day Mushnik tells Seymour he's never going to watch the plant again, telling Seymour he has to watch the plant that night. In fact, after Seymour gets his trophy, Mushnik plans on throwing the plant out.
Are you ready for a miracle?
Holy Jesus is come to the Lord. Welcome back, my brother. Bring your guilt to the altar and lay it down upon the feet of Jesus.
I don't know what you're talking about. Audrey tells him it's no big deal that he has to watch the plant and brings sandwiches that night for them to have a picnic. Problem is, the plant starts demanding food, and Seymour has to convince Audrey that he's the one talking since he doesn't want her to find out that the plant talks.
Ah, okay. So he's eating crayons. She's the one eating glue. You cannot tell me she believes that.
I'm hungry.
Seymour,
I didn't mean it.
why did you say it?
Oh, food.
You didn't even say that.
Oh, yes, I did. I said it.
Oh, I'm looking right at you.
Well, he is very convincing.
Well, I'm a ventriloquist.
You're what?
A ventriloquist.
Feed me.
A 4-year-old with a sock puppet would be more convincing than that. If I drew a smiley face on the top of your head, lit it properly, and filmed it with a camera, it would be more convincing than that.
Audrey runs off upset, which gets Seymour mad at the plant, so the plant hypnotizes him.
Crowline. Turn around. Close your eyes.
Oh, I'm a plant.
You are asleep.
What? Huh? What? How?
Now you will do as I say.
That isn't important. Seymour tries to find some food, but being hypnotized him actually makes him even dumber than when he wasn't.
I find that hard to believe.
Well,
Speak for yourself, John.
My name is Seymour.
My name is Seymour.
That's my name, too.
I stand corrected.
the woman wants to know if he wants to go to her place or his, but since he can't make up his mind, he decides to flip a rock to figure it out and accidentally kills her with it.
This man should not be allowed in public. I've seen cartoon characters with more intelligence than this gap.
So he feeds her to the plant, and the next day everyone gathers to see the flowers open.
So, everyone is gathering in front of the man-eating plant. You know, if we were playing word association, the word that would pop into my mind would be smorgasbord.
Actually, the flowers open, and it turns out they all have the faces of the people who were fed to the plant.
Isn't that the
Railroad cop. Look at the rest.
So it's not just a man-eating plant, but it's a little snicked as well. I don't care how much money they've been getting. That plant ain't worth the trouble.
The cops agree with you.
Wait. The cops are part of the smorgasbord?
Yeah, they had a hunch that it would be smart to be there.
A hunch or a copy of the script? Because I'm thinking it was the latter and not the former.
Regardless, they want Seymour to explain what he did, and of course, Seymour runs away, causing the cops to go after him in a delightful chase.
I don't think anything about this, and I do mean anything, should be labeled as delightful.
Eventually, the cops give up, and Seymour is able to return to the shop to find it empty. The plant demands more food, so Seymour takes a knife and jumps into the plant to stab it to death.
I'll feed you like you've never been fed before.
You were drinking that special brew when you wrote this, weren't ya? Why would he jump inside the plant to stab it? Stab it from the outside, or light the son of a bitch on fire. Throw dynamite inside. Stabbing it from the inside is about, I don't know, the stupidest thing you could possibly do. Unless, of course, you glaze yourself before going in.
Well, yeah, he was an idiot.
Doesn't mean you have to make it quite so obvious.
Anyway, everyone gets back to the shop just in time to see the final bud open and reveal Seymour's face. The end. What did you think?
Okay, I think I told you to write whatever you want as long as it was done in 3 days. And I got exactly that. Any other time, I would probably tell you to take your bald head, shine it all nice, go stand out in the sun and bake your brain. But if I want to win this bet, I need this script pronto. So, you know what? Your head is safe. I'll take it.
Sweet! You know, if this does well, I've got an idea of how I could turn this into a musical. I understand. I always write, don't forget hip flask. Although, to be fair, I do write that for every single day. Even when I don't have meetings with you. And I'm going to have to start that all over again because I had to say it wrong.
Oh, I got attacked by a and we're back.
Yes and no. They all admit the plant is unique, but the plant looks sickly. So Mushnik still wants, not tells. He doesn't tell him he wants to fire him. Oh, he might, maybe, possible.
Okay, so we had a pinch of film noir at the beginning. We had a smidgen of dark comedy where I have to burp because of the soda and the Red Hots. You can't see it, but these are a nasty combination. He buys some ground beef at the butcher. Honestly. But between that and just getting rid of the plant that eats blood, I'm not exactly sure what the obvious thing to do would. What the hell? Don't tell me. Being a genius that Seymour is, he figures says, oh, God, I can't. Right now.
And then you put that in the blooper. No, they're actually simple. It's actually or simply. You can't have them both. You can't have actually and simply. You gotta choose one.
Got the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't burp in the beginning of a line. Give me a second for a game, Daniel.
Sorry. Sorry.
You're not good people either, Scott. Your name's not Scott. I made a joke about your bald head drawing a smiley face.
I know.
Because I'm an asshole.
He is an asshole. He is an asshole.
Oh, smorgasbord. Why is the world's word?
The word smorgasbord. Something come to mind. Why? Okay.
It works.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave it.
Don't take away my ham glaze. Ooh, now I want ham.
Was that okay?
Yes.
Can we go with that take?
Oh.